Hi guys, welcome to this week's team call. I am so excited for the content that we have for you because we're going to be talking about social media. And for me, it's like the more I can learn about social media, the more excited I get because I'm like a sponge. I just want to know like how can I reach the right people and how can I reach more people? I'm just so interested in it. So I have some content to bring you, and then April has some content to bring you that is all brand new to me. And so I'm going to have my pen out, my paper. I'm going to be like a sponge and just absorb every word she says. So I'm really excited about this. We all get to learn. So before we get started, just like every week, I want to encourage you to shut down any distractions you have going on, whether you're here with us live or catching the replay. Make sure that your distractions are shut down, like Facebook. I have my Facebook turned off so that I'm 100% here with you guys. And then here we go. So this week we're talking about social media, but we're really focusing in on some of the platforms that are yet less utilized. Like Facebook, we get a lot of social media training for, which is fantastic. We also have a social media boot camp for Misfit Republic. And if you guys need the link for that, let me know, probably in the recording comment section. Let me know if you need to be added to that group. But today we're going to focus on Instagram and Pinterest, which are two of the platforms that are more popular, but not so much training about them. And I have gone through a lot of research for myself over the last few weeks because I was not using Instagram at all. I didn't know how to translate people from Instagram to Facebook, and therefore it was useless to me. So I wasn't really using it. Well, then I decided that I was going to give it a fair shot and really pump my energy into it to try to make it work. And so the tips I'm going to give you today are based on that. But before we get started, I wanted to give you guys a really quick way to figure out how to brand yourselves. So for branding ourselves, it's hard to kind of get an idea of what feel we want to put out to people, but it's also one of the most exciting things about running our own business. You know, I mean, especially for like moms, we start to lose ourselves, or even those of you who are working full time, it's hard to focus back in on what makes you tick when you're just in that daily grind every day. So this branding thing is actually super exciting. And I'm going to share my screen. And it's funny that April's going to be talking about Pinterest because Pinterest is my jam for finding out what kind of branding feels we like. So here I typed in branding idea boards at the top. And if you go to Pinterest, you can kind of scroll through all of these different branding ideas. Misfit Republic right here. Can you see that one? It's totally the same branding as Misfit Republic. But so by going through all of these different branding ideas, seeing different textures and how different fonts are mixed or colors, it really gives you a foundation for creating your own brand. And this is what I did when I was going into mine. So my own personal brand is black and gold. I've always been a fan of monochrome. As a photographer, I always liked black and white. I just love how it makes you focus on the connection. Instead of seeing the whole story, you create the whole story in your imagination, or you fill in the gaps with your imagination. I love that. So I wanted to keep that consistent with my branding, but I also wanted to add a little bit of life. So in my board, you'll see the black and white and gold, and then little pops of pink and teal and blue in there too. But so going through all these Pinterest boards, you can start to see like what draws your eye in. Even if you're just scrolling, like, is this teal and gold something that really pulls you to it? Or maybe the greens, the pinks. Just find a Pinterest board that speaks to you, that makes you feel comfortable. And I don't know, maybe these ones are font vibes. Maybe you want something that makes you feel relaxed and feminine, or maybe you want something that's edgy and says, look, let's hustle and get this done. So by scrolling through Pinterest, you're going to be able to see what pulls your attention forward. Now, I highly suggest that as you go through these different boards and you find one that relates to you, I suggest that you use whatever app you use on your phone to create your images and take the inspiration from Pinterest and make it something that is easily made on a daily basis through the apps on your phone. So either through Rana or through WordSwag. And a lot of those have these like Like WordSwag has lots of new backgrounds and images in there, and you can also do an image search in there. So if you search for certain patterns, say you really liked this polka dot pattern you found on Pinterest as a background or as like an accent element, you just want to make sure that it's something that you can grab really quick as you're working through your images, and it's not something that's going to be now it's an hour project in order to create one post. So you want your fonts. If you go on Rana, when you go into fonts, there's this really cool feature on the side that will show you font pairings that are popular. I highly suggest using that because they've already done the work for you, because you usually want to pair it's almost like a fancy font with a not fancy font, like a sans font. You want to mix the two, so that, because if you put two fancy fonts together, it becomes really overwhelming to the reader. But they have already done this work in the font suggestions on Rana, so I highly suggest using that app to its fullest potential and using it as part of your branding so that it's something super easy and flexible to whip out. Now for me, for Instagram, I have a pool of different images that I've created and that are saved on my phone to use whatever I want. I like the idea of having really short phrases, so I actually went on Pinterest and I went to 6-word quotes is what I looked up. And I found a ton of quotes and grabbed my favorite ones and recreated them quickly in Rana while it was already open. So I already had the right fonts plugged in, the right colors plugged in, and I just did these 6-word fonts. It took maybe an hour, and I think I had 30 different posts already created. So if you set aside that time maybe once a month, you will be golden, and all of your posts will be super consistent, and you won't have to overthink it when you post. And since I have such a pool of them, I kind of browse through them and think, what is inspiring me today? And I'll find something that is really in line with how I'm feeling that day, and I'll be able to write a little bit more about it. So it doesn't sound forced to the people I'm talking to. Or maybe sometimes I'm not feeling motivated to do something large, and I'll just say in the comment section, like, you too, a question mark. You know, something like I think will speak to them, but it'll get them to either like or comment. I will say you should never post a picture without some kind of words to it. It always should have some kind of direction. Your audience doesn't know what to do, so tell them what to do. By simply saying you too, it makes them say, yes, I agree with you, either liking or commenting, but either way, you're asking a question for them to respond. So don't ever post a picture without any words to it. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about Instagram, and I'm going to show you, I have to get there, my Instagram. All right, here's my Instagram. So this is my new page I created at the beginning of the month. It was May 2nd I actually created it, and it's MilSpouse on a Mission. Now this one is super targeted towards the people that I specifically want to work with. I still have my @Lorelei_Taylor going, and I'm still working on building that up. But this is the one I have that is super specific to my unique audience. So with this, you'll notice I have kind of this checkerboard pattern where every other one is a quote and a picture. So as people are looking through this, they feel relaxed. They feel interested, it looks artistic, and they enjoy browsing through the posts because it is so cohesive. When people go to your Instagram page, they want to quickly be able to understand what you're about. By creating a really snappy little intro segment at the top and having your images fall within your branding, you'll draw people in to want to hit that follow button and want to learn more about what you're like. And also, if they don't relate to your branding whatsoever, they will not hit follow, and that is also a really good thing for you. You know what I mean? Like, yes, we want to have lots of followers, but we want to have lots of the right followers. We don't want to waste our time. So what I've done here is I have my black and gold going on. You'll see some pops of color. You'll see some red here for the misFITspiration. You'll see red on there. I kind of want some American colors in there, but I don't want it to be like where they show up and it's like, holy red, white, and blue. Like, I don't want it to be overwhelming. I want it to be subtle because I want it to be more about the military spouse and not like, boom, American. I love America, but this is about the spouse side. So that's how I have it all going. Now you'll notice when I do my post, now this one's not linked to a page on Facebook, so what I do is I do the enter and periods to bump it down while people are browsing. They're not going to be sabotaged by my hashtags, but they're on there. And what I did is I created a bank of hashtag shortcuts in my cell phone. I don't know how it goes on Android, but I know for Apple products, I went into my settings and to keyboards and to keyboard shortcuts, and I created a 30 hashtag bank for different genres of topics. So this one, when I type in hashtag milspo, MILSPO, all of these hashtags are already put in there. So I don't have to type them out, but I'm utilizing every post to its fullest potential, which you have a 30 hashtag limit. I'm using every post to its fullest potential by having those hashtags on there. Any less than 30 hashtags, you're really losing your traction. You are losing the ability to reach more people with it. And all of these are really targeted, especially for my Male Spouse on a Mission. They're really targeted to the type of people that I want to work with there. And it has proved amazing. I highly suggest finding your targeted person. You know, in the Misfit Republic planner, you'll find where you can write down all the details of the person you specifically want to work with. And I encourage you to use your imagination, because by deciding that I want to work with other male spouses is where I've been able to come up with this. It's very specific. And you know what's funny is, I got to show you this one other thing. You see at the top here, it says join our community, and there's a link. And a few times in here, like Male Spouse Mingle, I've talked about our Facebook group that we have going on. And then I say link in bio. And when they go to my bio, they see this little link here. And when they click on it, it takes them directly to the Male Spouse on a Mission Facebook group, which is a secret group. They have to ask to join it. And in that group, we have, all kinds of stuff popping up. In that group, we have all kinds of things going on, and I'm actually choosing to host my future free groups through this group. So we're doing a PCS proof your home. We have a huge welcome post that people are commenting on like crazy. I love that. But we're going to be doing a PCS proof your house. For military spouses, PCS means permanent change of station. So that means moving. And for us, which we are going to be moving, that means doing the purge, like getting rid of all the junk we don't need and things like that. And that really speaks to my audience. So we're doing that free group starting on the 23rd, and we're talking about it a lot. By having it connected from Instagram with that short little link to go to my targeted group, I am pulling so many people over from Instagram. I mean, okay, so I got to see how many members are in there. I started with 6 members on May 2nd. And since then, like I have 56 members. I realize that's not huge, but that is 50 members that are new to my audience that I didn't have before, that I'm pulling over from Instagram, which was my sticking point to begin with. By bringing them through that link, super targeted, over to Facebook, I'm now able to interact with people I would not have been able to reach otherwise. And I'm super excited about this, guys. I am super excited about how well this is working. So, I mean, I realize Male Spouse is not something that everybody can do. And I don't encourage everyone to do that, obviously. But there are things that make each of us unique. I actually got this idea from Noelle Wrestler, because she has her Messy Moms group. And it's a huge Facebook group. It's like blown up on Facebook, and it is her theme now. It's the Messy Mom, and so she runs all of her free groups that she would doing. You know how we do like the Crockpot groups, or I was doing a lot of Purge the House groups. You do clean eating groups, things like that. You can then run them through your little group of people that are interested in what you do specifically. And I love that. I love that idea, because you can advertise for it and plug people into your group. You can advertise for that free thing going on and plug them into this specific group. But you also provide an incredible value to the people who have chosen to follow you. So I love this. MilSpouse is my thing because I really want to give back to this community in the last 3 years before Eric gets out of the military. I've been given so much that I want to be able to give back before we go. So that's where my passion lies in it. There's one more thing I wanted to show you. So for Instagram, one thing I've used since starting my MilSpouse on a mission just, 2 weeks ago, not even. And look at 414 followers already in 2 weeks. And I will say, when I started building up my own personal brand, at Lorelei Taylor, I was around 400 followers, and in the last month it has blown up to over 800. But I did a lot of that by working myself. With Instagram, when you go interact on other people's pages, it encourages them to follow you. So I found a lot of people interacted on their pages, hashtagged everything like crazy, and posted consistently. That's like the magic formula. Maybe I should say that again, so that if any of you guys are taking notes, it is interacting on other people's pages, commenting on their posts. That includes liking and commenting on their posts. Comments are gold in the Instagram world. Posting consistently. What else did I say? I think that was it. I think between the three of those, and you want, when I say posting consistently, I mean how often. Usually like 3 times a day is best, 2 to 3 times a day, but also consistent branding. So consistency is huge in Instagram. So now that we have that stuff done, I want to show you this really cool tip that we have that I figured out, and it's called instaswell.com. Instaswell is a platform that goes in and automatically likes and follows people of a specific hashtag for you. Now, I only have the free plan, which is 50 likes per day or 50 follows per day, but my targets are super specific to the MilSpouse on a mission. So you see on here, it's hashtag MilSpouse, military spouse, MilSpo, deployment blues, Army wife, Fort Drum, Fort Belvoir, which are my most recent duty stations, and USAREC, which Eric is in now. That's United States Army recruiting. So it's super specific. And every day for the free service, this InstaSwell will go in and like 50 people's posts that have these hashtags, and then follow 50 people with these specific hashtags. It's super targeted. I do not suggest using this to do like hashtag fitness, because you're going to get so many people that you just don't connect to. You're going to get a lot of like bodybuilding men like chugging protein drinks. They don't want what we have. They've already got this figured out. So you need to find something that is super specific to your target. Mine is super specific, and I have been so happy with the results, because I'm telling you, when I'm on MilSpouse on a mission and I go through my followers, a lot of them, I like MilSpouse support page. But I mean, a lot of these people, as I'm clicking them, because I've been kind of keeping an eye on it, they're like all military spouses. It's insane that it has done so well that it's reaching exactly my target audience. So do a lot of consideration. If you have not done that page in the Misfit Republic planner where you're figuring out who your target audience is, I'm telling you, do that. It will be so worth your time and so worth your energy, because then you know that the people you're connecting with are the exact people you're meant to work with. So I know I talked longer than I intended, but I'm really passionate about this, and this is working so well because I'm finally translating people from Instagram, a platform that I was not comfortable with, over to Facebook, something that I know how to use on a regular basis, and it's creating a lot of great conversations from it too. So now April is going to blow our minds with Pinterest, something I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm excited to learn. Are you ready to chat with me, April?
I am. So I hope I blow you away. That was really cool. I enjoyed your Instagram. Thank you.
Yay! I'm glad. I hope it helps.
Yes, I took some notes. So on my phone, I was like, oh my gosh, this is good. This is good. Yay. Okay, so for Pinterest, I was a Pinterest junkie before Beachbody. So I had already had my Pinterest up and running, and I already had a certain flair for it. But my notes is over here, so I'm not going to be looking directly at my camera, so I'm sorry, guys, in advance. But we're recorded. You love me. We're okay. Okay, so why Pinterest? Right now, Pinterest pins, they last longer than Facebook pins. A longer shelf life is meaning your content is going to pop up 4 to 5 months down the road without you doing anything. It's just crazy, crazy how Pinterest platform does, and things that you're really, really proud of and you've posted, and then 5 months later, boom, you're getting a lot of repins from it, and it's just amazing. As Facebook, sometimes you'll lose that within, I don't know, 2 weeks. So it's very nice that way. The average Pinterest user, guys, spends, and I know I spend like 20 minutes to 30 minutes a night. I have to time myself now. But the average one spends 14.2 minutes on there repinning away. So you've got 14.2 minutes of someone, you know, either going all through your pages if they stumbled upon your pin and there's a couple more pins that catch their eye. They're going to go all over your boards, guys, and you're just going to get a lot of eyes on so many of your boards. So that's pretty cool. And Pinterest can open the door for bigger audiences. So right now, I'm just going to share some with you. I have a picture in my marketing board that you guys can look at, and if I need to, I can send it over to Lorelei if she would like it. But it has a breakdown of a family tree of a viral pin. So when I'm talking, Pinterest can really give you some numbers. Let me just kind of read something for you. 48 weeks ago, Verena pinned about glow stick balloons to over 30 followers. So she had 30 followers on a board. It was repinned 4 times, okay? 4 times, 30 followers, not that much, you know. 68 pinners, 66 repins, and 32 weeks later, the pin that was on Pinterest reached Dan Oshbach, and he shared it with over 1.5 million users. So just in that little bit of time, you have almost 1 to 2K people looking at your stuff, guys. And it was something that you done 4 weeks ago, or, you know, it was repinned 4 times. So it's just crazy, crazy how Pinterest goes. Misperceptions about Pinterest, and this is what was going on in the beginning when Pinterest opened up. Everybody was like, only women's going to be on there, only bridal food pics are going to be on there, your target audience isn't on Pinterest, which is a big fat lie, guys, because I have 2 or 3, I think I have 2 right now, weight loss boards that are just blowing up. So your target's there, they're on Pinterest. And if you don't have time for another social network, because of the shelf life on Pinterest and the account, it really runs itself, guys. I'll probably hop on, I would say, twice a week, if that, and I time myself like I told you, 20 minutes, because if I don't, I'm going to stay on there for like 2 hours, 3 hours. I really like the pins. If you check my board out, you're going to see I have like 1.6K likes. It's ridiculous. So I'm a really big pinner. But so I time myself because I know that about myself. And then I get repinned months after. So probably I repinned something 2 months ago, and just today I've had 7, because my Pinterest just went off. So I have 7 people that have repinned that. It wasn't something of mine, but what's on my board, there are some personal things on that board, and if they click on it and they start liking that board or follow that board, they're going to get my links, and that's something else we're going to talk about in a minute, guys. Okay, so the benefits, like I've told you about sharing and repinning, you get increased awareness about, you know, what you're trying to do, what you're all about. Additional blog traffic, if you are doing your blog, which I do my blog towards Pinterest. I do the preschool blog, and I do the Beachbody coaching blog as well. And so I get probably 20 to 30 people, I say, a week going and looking at my blogs. So it's really paid off to do Pinterest for them. You get new leads because you're going to create things I'm going to tell you about in a minute, that you have that where you could put links on into your descriptions, and Pinterest loves links, not like Facebook. So you are able to grab new leads through things like opt-ins that I'll talk about. And then your increased sales. Obviously, you're going to get new leads, guys. You're going to get increased sales. So yay, it helps. And if you haven't played on Pinterest, here's the breakdown. Because I know some of you guys are probably like, I don't get Pinterest, it looks stupid. And I was like that at first. Then when I made my first board, I was hooked. It was the saddest thing ever. So a pin is an image that you add to a board, and it links to an external web page. So this is your blog post, this is your website, an article that you guys want them to look at through Beachbody related. I had something where you could make Shakeology treats, and I made it go towards my Beachbody Shakeology page where they could watch the video, you know, if they had clicked and had liked that external one. So that's what a pin is. A repin is when you repin someone's content and you're sharing it with all of your followers. It's similar like a Facebook share, tweet or retweet. You know, you're just kind of like repinning, saying, hey, I'm here, I'm sharing your stuff with the community. And then in general, a lot of them will come back and start repinning your stuff. And it kind of helps you as well to get eyes. Comments and likes on Pinterest are no different from Facebook. You find a pin you like, you leave a comment, you click like to show your support. You know, most of the time I've had lots of people come back and comment on my stuff as well now that I do that on theirs. What makes Pinterest? Okay, so the boards. I've told you what repinning is, and now it's the boards, and I've talked about the boards a lot. So Pinterest boards are buckets of like categorized content that you want in one thing. Each one contains a content with similar interests. So say I have marketing, and I'm trying to go off my head. So I have marketing, I have preschool, I have quiet toy times, I have my weight loss journey, guys, I have raw food, that kind of stuff. So I have made boards with where I am in my life, and I have pulled the content from other boards that would fit into there. So I've repinned, and I've added some of my pins in there too to mingle. I don't have a full board where I have just pinned on mine. I have repinned several on each board as well. So I don't have just one board where I do all the things for me. A secret board, they're the same as boards, except they're secret. So nobody can see it, or they could not even find it. You'd be invited to it. And this is what I kind of run and I have 2 secret boards, and I run them like a Facebook group. You have some people who don't like to go into Facebook. They will not do it. I have some Pinterest followers that absolutely not going to cross over to Facebook. So I have turned the secret boards into challenge boards. And we have worked on planks and things like that. And it has helped them, you know, they gave me their email addresses. We have exchanged phone numbers throughout the time. And then they have crossed over and became customers for me. So it works that way too. And then you have group boards. And group boards are really where your work's the same as normal boards, but you have multiple pinners. And I know that can scare some of you guys. And in the beginning, I did not like group boards because I was like, I don't have control of that board. You know, and that really bugs me at first. So if you're a control freak, let go of it. Just let go when you have group boards, guys. Because multiple pinners sharing the content within the board, that board is seen on their platform as well as your platform, regardless if you started the group board or if they have. Wherever the pinners are on, it has on their Pinterest accounts as well. So people of their followers can click on it, and they're going to see your content as well. Click on your content, it's going to go back over to your Pinterest page. So group boards are your friends, guys. Pin content. So now I've talked about boards and stuff. What would you put on there? For me, I had already started it, guys, so my Pinterest is very personal. I run it like my Facebook page. I am actually more personal on my Pinterest, which is really weird because pictures isn't as scary to click on and repin and say you like that versus when you're on Facebook and you have to comment out, I like this, and then you get 50 people gonna bash what you like. Where on Pinterest, it's a picture, and half the time, 20 or 30 people are gonna think that picture is cool. So, you know, it's easier to be yourself on Pinterest, or it is for me. So every board was where I was in a walk of my life. So early on, and I'm just gonna read through, or I wonder if I could share, or can you share it, mine, or can I share mine?
You should be able to click share screen at the bottom, even if you're not hosting.
Okay, let me see.
Of the Zoom window. Yeah, there you go.
Yay, okay. So, as you can tell, has been going on for quite some time, 3.1K pins and everything. It's just that. But I am a big photography art person. I don't talk about it a lot. I don't like to share my photography. But my personal photography is here. It's not as scary to be on Pinterest because they're pictures. So, I don't feel like, oh, people's not going to like my picture. So nobody would know that I'm into photography unless they were on my Pinterest page. It's just something I don't share a lot with. And this is when I was in photography, I had backdrops. I run a preschool, so I have preschool ideas, quiet bags. My husband's a DJ, so our DJ ideas. At the time, we were trying to figure out what a cool concept for him with lighting and things like that. But even something like that pulled over 72 followers. I only have 3 pins on it. So Pinterest is something that can be used and utilized, and is so great. But the way I do it, guys, is it's a personal, what I'm into. It makes it more personal. It makes it fun. I don't feel like, oh, I got a Pinterest today and I got to come up with content. It's super, super fun because I love to click and repin and look at everybody else's stuff. So it's just been really nice. And if you have like new ideas for a new house, when we were moving last year, or no, 2 years ago, into a smaller apartment, we were downsizing a little bit. There were some really cool ideas for new houses and small houses that I made, and I ended up getting, I don't want to misquote that one, but 72 followers on this one as well. So, these are people that just come and look, and it's just cool. So, but I wanted to show you my weight loss blog, because this one, I have 74 on here, but this one is where I link things. So I have a board here with this blog post that I just done. In the description, I put the website, but if you click it and you click the description, they can go right to my website page, which I'm revamping. And then there is the blog post. So I do that for my blog on my weight loss one. And I've made this open for my coaches, so it is on their platform as well, and they can kind of add to theirs. This is what Jessie had added for hers as well. So you can kind of see the idea of when you share things, and you can just put your own links. What I have figured out with opt-ins, because I was just talking about and learning about opt-ins this week, and it's really cool that you can actually put, if you want to do your challenger flyers or your challenger picks, you can put those on. Then you can give them, like, if you've made an application for your challengers to submit for you, or something like that, you could do an opt-in like that, where they would click on the little link where you would have your application, they would fill it out, and then it would be your email, and it'd go to your email. So Pinterest has a lot of ways where you don't have to sit there like you would on Facebook and have to talk to people. You can redirect them to quite a few areas and avenues that you want, and then it's just a lot easier. And that's why I say this one takes no time. So if you feel like you don't have time, guys, this one is my easiest one by far. So, but I am done, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I believe that's over, but if you have any questions on the call, I will answer them.
Are you able to pin something from Facebook? Like, say you have a graphic or a great post from Facebook. Can you grab that link and pin it on to Pinterest?
You can, yes. What I do is because some of my stuff through Facebook and Pinterest haven't seen eye to eye before, so I have saved the picture that I want, and then I have saved the link, the Facebook link, and I have put that into the comments. And it seems to get better interaction and better traction that way.
So maybe Pinterest and Facebook don't like playing together, but if you can sneak it in is what you're saying.
No,
yeah.
You can. It's legal to do that now, and it's only like a month old.
Oh, yay.
It's legit. You can do that now.
Just sometimes the algorithms don't like playing nice with each other. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I just was thinking for some of the people that are catching the replay on this, maybe they're thinking, I don't have a website yet, so I don't know how I can use that. So you suggest saving the picture?
Mm-hmm. And then even do an opt-in form. I'm starting to use JetForm, but MailChimp has them where you can actually create an application or create something you're wanting to tell them, or create an email capture link page to give them something. So for what I do is if I'm creating like a challenger group, I've been making those applications so where I don't have to stay glued to my phone. In the evenings, I've decided where I'm done working by 5 p.m. I just can't do it anymore. Some things wrong with my husband, and 5 p.m. is the best time, except on night calls that we have scheduled out.
Yeah, for sure. That's the same thing with me.
Yeah. So creating those opt-ins and those applications or those little call to actions on my picture description has really saved me time, because I don't have to be present, and then they're clicking on that and it's kind of running itself. So I've allowed the Pinterest to just run itself at this point.
Nice. So for those ones, so say when you post a picture on Pinterest but it doesn't link back to a website, that's possible, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can create the link in the comment section, which I do. I do my applications through Google Drive, which is free, so people could also do that. But so then you're saying you just post the link to that in the comment section and it still works well?
Yes, it does.
SurveyMonkey is another good one that's free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used SurveyMonkey before. But
Very cool. That is really great information. Now I'm excited to go build more boards. I have quite a few boards, but I just am not, I don't watch it. I think I probably check into Pinterest. I use Pinterest for a lot of ideas, but I don't pin a lot. And so this is changing how I feel about the pinning side of it, for sure.
Yeah, Pinterest is really good for personal branding. So you're repinning your likes and your, what you're interested in, and then people are going to be gravitating towards you, and you create your own audience through Pinterest. So I've had more success with Pinterest than I have on any of the others. So.
Do you feel that branding comes into play at all with Pinterest, or is it more open to being like a hodgepodge of interest?
I have found that a hodgepodge of interest is better, because I'm a gamer, but I also like to do things educational or book readings or things like that. So I have all of my little nicks and knacks and interests all together. So it's just a hodgepodge like I've done in my Instagram. It doesn't work for Instagram, but it's excellent for Pinterest. And I've grabbed several people and they're like, oh, I've been into this, and you wouldn't think you were into that. And I'm like, oh yeah. And so it just grabs a lot of people's attention.
Nice. That's really cool.
The jack of all trades, master of many.
That is me. I love so many things.
Yeah.
Real quick, Pinterest does hashtags too. Not as many as Instagram, but if you have 2 or 3 very specific, if you had your MilSpouse stuff, or kids crafts, if it was a kids crafts thing, and when people search that, so it is hashtag friendly.
Mm-hmm. And you can incorporate your Instagram too to your Pinterest as well, so you can have them pulling off and going to your Instagram page.
Do you mean snagging a link from Instagram, when you pull up a web page on your computer and making that your pin?
Yes.
Oh, you're blowing my mind.
So a picture that's going to grab their attention, and then put that and then link it and have it go over to your Instagram. So I have my Twitter. You can go to my Twitter on my Pinterest. All of them are interacting with each other through my Pinterest board.
That's cool. That's speaking my lingo. I like it. Now, for your Pinterest account, do you have a place where people know how to contact you or ask questions? How does that work with Pinterest?
So on Pinterest, depending on the links for me, I've created my actual links to be my calling cards as far as my actual pins.
Would you mind showing us what you mean?
Yeah. Let me share with you.
Okay.
So on my initial page, and I'm sitting up to share because I'm on my computer in the living room. So on my initial page, I have my branding name, and I have my actual website on there that they can actually click and go on to. There's other ones that you can share, I've been told, on this platform right now, but I haven't even went in and edited my profile.
But it looks like you have Facebook connected right there too, right?
Yeah, so I have the Facebook one connected here.
Nice.
And this one I actually have to change because it doesn't work anymore. I canceled it, and I'm starting a whole new blank page.
So when you
I'll have to go in and edit it soon. But let me go down to what I'm talking about. Like, okay. So my blog on this one, trying to see if I've done any more call to action. And I haven't.
Everything hurts and I'm dying. I love it.
You can see your webpage link.
Yeah.
And then like this one was taken off my Instagram, and I saw, but no, I had done Insanity and pulled people off of there for that. So,
nice.
So I do hashtag well, but what I was talking about for how I actually call the pins to action, so I'll just share that one again, or this one. So this was another one in my blog when I had a realization of me totally changing, and I wasn't this person anymore. I've become like when I was 16 again. It's crazy. I feel like I'm a young kid again. But, you know, I told them about changing each day into the person I'm supposed to be, and I used my website link for them to go back on. So I use my pins as far as a website link or an Instagram link or an opt-in application link. And if I want people to interact with that pin, that's what I do. There are several pins. I'll just get on a free pinning spree, and I don't really care if they click an opt-in. If I'm using something specifically targeted, and this was for high blood pressure, irritable bowel, and no immunity, and how I made it to where I turned myself into my own hero, something I wanted, and I didn't have to go elsewhere. So this kind of spoke to me if someone needed that, you know, step, and they were depressed and they were needing to look into the right direction first. So this was a call to action post. So I made sure to give them a place they could go to find out more info on it. And that's how I run the Pinterest when I have stuff that I really want them to interact on and look up stuff. Not all of my Pinterest stuff is that way.
So now, would you suggest that someone who doesn't have a website, maybe it connecting to their Facebook personal profile or an email or something there? Is that done?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I would tell them to intermingle Facebook, even if they have a like page, if they're using that as their website, if they have a blog, if they're going to do a blog, whatever social media platforms or things they're doing for their businesses needs to get onto this Pinterest board.
Nice.
And I really need to put my camera somewhere else because I'm staring over here with you guys. Over here. Okay.
It's all good. No, it's really good.
Now I'm going to look this way. No, it's this way again.
Thank you so much for everything you have just like dumped on us. I have taken so many notes, and I'm completely changing my mind about Pinterest as I'm talking to you. I knew I was going to. I was like putting time in my plan to go on Pinterest this week, knowing that you were going to blow my mind.
Yeah, and I'm going to do an Instagram page because you are just like, oh my gosh. So, but my personal, I'm just not even going to touch that Instagram. There's too much going on with that one.
Well, I hope everyone that is on the recording is just like loving this content. For those of you that are live on the call, I'm going to turn off the recording, and we are just going to like powwow and like do Q&A and like talk all the great stuff. But for those of you on the recording, I hope you loved it. Thanks for checking in with us.